short webinar, so we're just going to be 20 minutes probably, just a quick one, just because the last one was an hour. I'm trying different time zones too, so now we're going to do 7 o'clock at night, so hopefully this flows better. So you guys let me know. So, okay, motivation versus discipline, and what does that even mean, right? Because I feel like everybody hears that both words and they think it's like the same thing. It's like, oh, when you're motivated, you know, you get something done, and then when you're disciplined, you know, you get it done. So for me, I like to go to the discipline, but I'll tell you guys why. So, okay. Just a little background for those who are new followers and who have never done or have been a webinar with me. So I'm first generation Mexican American. I love my heritage. College graduate, Cal Poly Pomona Broncos, go Broncos. I got my master's from USC, executive leadership. I'm a Capricorn. I love love. I'm very romantic. Hiking and the ocean are my therapy. So hence why I travel a lot and why you guys always see me hiking. The other thing is I have a very healthy obsession with J-Lo, and my entire life changed October 24th, where I really had to figure out who was I, right? So moving along, the quote of the day that I just thought would fit perfect for today is that it's a marathon, not a sprint, and by Nipsey Hussle. And this is something that I constantly have to remind myself that I need to be patient, right? Because timing is everything. And I'll go further into details about that. But for me, I'm constantly reminding myself that I'm on a different path. I'm on a different lane. The person next to me, the person behind me, it doesn't matter. We're not in competitions with each other. I have to focus on me, and I have to worry about what's best for me, right? And what does that look like for me? But I'm the one at the end of the day that makes this all happen. So, motivation versus discipline. Okay, motivation. The way I like to describe motivation to people when I talk to them and I try to help them out with whatever goals that they have, and again, you guys know me, like I'm super passionate about helping others, is that motivation is that burst of feeling that you just get super excited when you see like a Rocky movie and you're just like, yeah, I just want to get in shape, or even with career goals or any goal that you have. It's one of those things where it's just like, you immediately go into like, I want to get this done, and I can do it too. And I love the enthusiasm of, yes, you can do it because you are limitless, but it's understanding that it's a temporary feeling, right? So again, I speak from my experience. I'm not trying to say I'm an expert. I'm not, this is a full disclaimer. I'm just communicating what worked for me and what I've done and what I continue to do. And I continue to grow, and I continue to make mistakes, and I continue to get better. So back to motivation. So for me, it's the way I like to describe it is that it's just a quick burst of an emotion that typically doesn't last very long. And I'll tell you why. Because I've been that person. I'll tell you from my experience. I've been that person where I get super motivated. I, watch a movie. I see something on Instagram. I look at a magazine, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done being this person. I'm going to focus and do that. And then what ends up happening is that I do it and I burn myself out, right? I work out 6 times a week. I'm, not getting enough rest. I'm just a hot mess. And then I lose faith in myself because I don't see the scale move, because I'm expecting a miracle to happen in a week or two, which isn't it's not that you can't. So what ends up happening is that you give up, right? And you go back to old habits because the habits are there and they're lingering, and they're like, hey, remember us? Like, we eat bad and we like to party 24/7 and drink a lot of alcohol. And so for me, the way I've been able to deal with that is that it's having realistic goals, right? At the end of the day, it's understanding that, and I'm just going to tell you guys, it's a temporary burst of emotions and feelings that you get when moving towards a goal. Usually it fades and you do not stay consistent. You have to have realistic timeline and a goal. So for me, it's having to explain to people in the beginning is patience. Patience is the way you're going to win the game, because this isn't, again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. This isn't something that you're going to lose 50 pounds in a month. That's not, you don't want that. Like, and again, this can go with any career. If, you can't take a real estate license, test on the weekend and expect to pass if you haven't studied. Like there's a process for everything, right? But there's so much beauty in each process that everybody goes through. And again, I always relate back to the fitness only because that's what I did for myself, but also in my personal career, I also had a lot of this as well. So motivation, right? Discipline is creating healthy habits and, understanding that it's going to take time and having patience. And it's understanding that it will be a process and you embrace it. You understand that at the end of the day, it's little by little that you may feel a certain way, but you will still take the action to get it done, if that makes any sense. And again, still be mindful of yourself and how you're feeling. Be kind to yourself. I definitely don't want anybody to think like, oh, if you have a headache, like you have to go running on the treadmill. No, no, no. Definitely be mindful. But I'm talking about, when that laziness kicks in, right? When you're just like, I can speak on, when my fatigue hits me every month, like I get fatigued really bad, as I consider myself very ageless. Thank you very much. JLo terms. But at the end of the day, I also understand that with my age, I'm also feeling the fatigue a lot harder. So I do have to be a lot kinder to myself, which means I still put on my workout clothes. I still get up. I still get on that treadmill, even though I am dying, you guys. I do not want to be on that treadmill sometimes. Like I may look super happy when I'm on there, but like at the end of the day, when I'm getting it, like getting up to go, my headspace is always like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do this because if I don't do this, this is pushing me one step back from the goal that I have, right? So it's understanding all of that. It's understanding that you still have to take action no matter how much you feel, even if it's a little action, even if it means you're going to go on the treadmill for 5 minutes or you're going to do a workout for as long as you can take it. Keep that discipline because you're creating a healthy habit. So I also like to say, like, discipline is also training a muscle, right? So that's going to take me to the next step. So how do you become disciplined? So being disciplined, you have to create realistic goals, which means think about it in a way of, I'm going to make myself healthier and I'm going to lose only 5 pounds out of the month. That's a healthy, realistic goal to think about it, right? That if you want to lose weight, if you want to build muscle, it's okay. I understand that muscle takes a long time to create and I have to be patient with the process. And trust me, that's literally where I'm at right now, where I'm literally like, woosah, woosah. You can ask Kenneth, my trainer. I'm literally like, Kenneth, where's my muscle? I want my muscle right now. So it's having to have the patience, right? And so the questions that I always ask myself, and I swear, if I had cameras following me, you guys would see how much I do self-talk. Like I talk so much to myself. And I always ask myself, how bad do you want this? And what are you willing to give up for this new lifestyle? Because you are having their sacrifice. Like one of my good friends always told me, like, there's always a price to pay, right? Like in the sense of like, you got to pay the piper. And there is. So at the end of the day, it's having to have the understanding of, okay, I really, really want this bad. I'm going to make this happen and I'm going to create healthy habits. Like that's like the beginning, the headspace, right? And then it's positive affirmations. I am such a huge believer that when you do positive affirmations in the morning, middle of the day, whenever you have a stress moment, I mean, there's times that I'm like, I'm about to go ham on somebody in the car and I'm like, you know what, Caro? I am happy. I am healthy. I have abundance. Like anytime I see my angel numbers, I'm like, okay, I am so grateful to be alive. So that's just for me, right? But it's creating that headspace of positivity at the end of the day. And then just having a positive outlook on life. It's finding the beauty in every situation. I promise you, this is part of being disciplined, but you have to create the headspace in order to foster and being disciplined. And then stay consistent. So again, this goes back to the staying consistent of just getting it done, right? If that even means, 5-10 minutes on the treadmill, I promise you, every time I'm super, super fatigued, I always tell myself 5 minutes, gotta, just get out of bed, get dressed, 5 minutes, just do 5 minutes on the treadmill. And then I end up challenging myself where I'm like, you know what, 5 minutes is done. I feel really good. It's just get moving, like just get moving, right? But consistency is the key, because you have to stay consistent. Like, I can't express enough taking the action. It's, you're training yourself. And then at the end of the day, it's having to have the understanding that you need to be kind to yourself. And again, this goes back to know your body, be mindful, be aware, understand like what's happening, but be kind to yourself, because you have one body, you have one life, and there's so much negativity in the world. At the end of the day, what would it hurt for you to be speaking kindly to yourself, and for you to have faith in yourself, and to tell yourself that you can do something, and that you are worthy of it, and you are enough, because you are. We all are at the end of the day. So for me, that's huge, right? I constantly have these conversations with myself, where when I feel defeated, when I feel like a failure, if I feel bloated, especially on this past trip that I was in Florida with my family, I definitely felt the bloatiness from the humidity, and just being out of my routine and not having my workouts like I'm so used to. But I have to adapt and I have to adjust, correct? So with that, it's having to be kind to myself. And I knew the moment I got back to LA that I was like, I'm recharged. I am so ready for my new goals, and it's gonna happen. Like, I have a trip in a couple of weeks. It's gonna be good. So it's having that, right? And then patience, 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 patience. I can't stress enough. Please, please, please be patient with yourself. Please be kind to yourself. Please understand that this will be a process and it won't be overnight. But if you're willing to put in the work and to understand that there's a journey that's part of all of this beauty and this magic that you're about to make, I promise you, it would just be so worth it. So patience. And again, I'm not perfect. I definitely have to constantly tell myself patience, patience, patience. Like, I'm always giving myself that conversation, because I have a habit, a bad one, where I like to go, I like to white knuckle, which means I like to just go balls to the wall nonstop. And that's not okay, especially in all situations. It's just not okay. So, my trainer Kenneth has definitely taught me to slow down. I've seen more progress from slowing down, but I've also understood the importance of being patient. And then timing is everything. And when I say timing is everything, I promise you, I know sometimes you guys want something to happen like immediately, but there's so much beauty in the whole process. And again, me too, there's been moments where I'm just like, I'm over this. I want my muscle that JLo has. I've been working hard on it. But there's a reason. There's a reason why my body isn't responding the way it is. There's a reason why I have to do, carb cycling and these like, these kinks. And there's a reason why I have to do more cardio or do, it's part of my process. It's my journey, right? And I have to figure out what's going to be best for me. And so doing that, always reminding myself to be patient. Timing is everything. God, the universe, they're really amazing. And at the end of the day, they have your best interests. And so you just got to let them, like, what's her face? Country singer. Sometimes you just got to let Jesus take the wheel, right? And you just got to go. So there's been plenty of times where I'm just like, you know what? I just got to let go. And timing and everything will happen when it's supposed to. And when you let go of that, I promise you, there's so much beauty and magic that happens that you'll see a difference and you'll see a shift. So I'm super grateful for you guys. I wanted to just do this quick little webinar about motivation and discipline, just because that's something that's so important to me. Again, I'm not perfect. I fail too. I don't try to sit here in front of you guys to try to say that I'm better than anybody. I'm not. I'm human. I have emotions. I mess up. I was totally in my feelings in Florida, which was really random. Like, if anybody knows me, I'm very not good with emotions, but I was at the beach and I was like, what is this? Oh, these are emotions. So I just laugh by myself right now because anyways. So at the end of the day, I just want to say thank you. I'm always so grateful and appreciative of you guys. Your time is precious and I understand that. So thank you for all your support. Thank you for always pushing me to go out of my comfort zone. I've been wanting to do webinars for such a long time. It's such a passion of mine to just help others that I'm so glad that I just finally started to do this. And again, there'll be one next month and the month after that, and we'll find topics and we'll definitely do that. But I do want to take any questions that you guys have. I do also want to check the, let's see, where is it? The chat. Who's chatting? This is this is total retrograde, by the way. I keep going back and forth when I'm trying to get to my my thing. Oh, here we go. Okay, who has a chat? Ah, thank you. You're so sweet. Okay, sounds good. I will. Let me go to questions. Does anybody have any questions? Let's see. How do you do your hair? Really? Which, by the way, if Jennifer, my bestie, if you're watching, do you recognize this shirt? This is my Zoom shirt from New York. Do you remember that story? Hot mess, you guys. It's 7:23. I promised that I would be here till 7:30. So if you guys have any questions and you guys want to put anything, okay. Thank you so much for doing this. Oh, you're welcome. I like doing this. This is so much fun. I really appreciate it. You guys make me happy. I like helping others. So this is just something that I truly enjoy. So thank you guys for giving me a platform. What's another one? How do you stay disciplined? Ooh, okay. I stay disciplined. I had to be kind. I had to learn to be kinder. But if you guys were to see the conversations that I have in my head, I'm very psycho. And when I say psycho, I mean like I go hard on myself. So when I'm running, I'm that person that's like, okay, Gato, you did 35 minutes, go harder. Okay, you did X, Y, and Z, go harder. So I had to learn to scale it back and be nicer. So it's funny, instead of going harder on myself, I had to learn to be kinder, which also meant understanding when I'm fatigued, not to push my body to the extreme, because I will push myself to the extreme and exhaust myself. And that's not going to get me closer to my goals. Okay, so let's see. Okay, what would you say is the best advice to outgrow your current self? Ooh, that's a good one. Continue to put yourself outside your comfort zone. And that can be environment, that can be reading, that can be workouts, that can be whatever scares you. Like I always know what's a good telltale sign for me is that if something scares me, then I got to run towards it, because then I know it's for me, right? Because I have to break the shell of the comfort zone in order to become a bigger, better version of myself. And that means having to break free. So I would suggest whatever freaks you out, whatever scares you, whatever makes you nervous, go do that. Go after it. Experience it, and it'll be something that you'll start to see a shift in yourself. Talk about rest and how you need that. Yes, I am working. Yes, rest is huge, you guys. Rest is probably the biggest component and foundation to losing weight and just even being super successful. In the sense of, I used to be the other headspace of thinking that I only needed to run on 3 or 4 hours of sleep. No, I was doing myself more harm than anything. So it's having the understanding that I need my 6 to 8 hours of sleep, in order to be a better version of myself, in order to perform better, in order to be a kinder human being. Like, rest is so important. And that was definitely a lesson that I learned during COVID, was that I was going, so crazy on just work and workouts that I didn't allow my body to recover. So now I'm really huge on recovery. I focus so much on recovery now. I get massages every month. I make sure that I stretch every day. I wake up in the morning and I stretch. I do all of that. So rest and recovery is huge. So yes, 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 yes. Thank you for that question, by the way. We have 4 more minutes. So if you guys have any other questions before the Zoom just like cuts us off. Let me see another question. Uh, 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 uh. I think that's it. Oh, just kidding. Uh, okay. So what? Okay, this one's a good one. Can you give us views on diet types, including being vegan, keto, etc.? Okay, so I am huge on eat towards your goal, right? So it's all about what type of goal you want to go after. If it's to lean out, then it's a lot of cardio, and then depends on your lifestyle. What kind of food do you eat, and all of that. I always try to find something that you have to find something that's going to be sustainable, right? Something can always jumpstart you. Like, don't get me wrong, keto, go for it, jumpstart it. That's not long term. That's just me personally. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just saying personally, I wouldn't see keto as being something long term. But to get you started, oh, sure, of course, like you get the metabolism going, but then it's figuring out what works best for your body type, what works best for you. Is it going to be salads? Salads may not work for you. It may be something as, carb cycling. Maybe it's not carb cycling. Like, it's definitely, for me, I always eat towards the goal. And so that's why my food intake is always changing, always shifting, because I'm always trying to challenge my body to like the next level. So it's leaning out, it's bulking up to gain muscle, and then it's leaning out, it's bulking up to gain muscle. Um, so it's definitely having the understanding of just what would work best and what type of lifestyle you want. Now, if you just want a basic general, I would say no processed food. If you can go to the market and buy all the food that is around the aisles, don't go in the aisles, go around the aisles, then you will see it's all fresh food, right? So if you can do that, that's great. I would suggest having that kind of lifestyle where, fruits, veggies, protein, which is fish, chicken. I really don't eat red meat, but that's just me. Um, and so, yeah, that's the question that I would say. I would answer it that way. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? We have a minute. Okay, so I just want to say thank you so much for your guys' time. Muchísimas gracias. Again, this was a lot quicker than the other webinar. I'm testing things out. So I appreciate the feedback. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful for all of your love and support. I would not have a voice or a platform if it wasn't for all of you guys. And I wouldn't be here. You guys hold me accountable. So I thank you for everything, because I wouldn't be working as hard if I didn't have you guys. That's also a reality that I've come to realize too. So thank you for always being so positive and so kind to me. I'm not perfect. I definitely mess up a lot, but there's so much beauty to life when things don't go the way they're supposed to, right? You end up having a journey that's meant for you without even knowing it. So before I get booted off by Zoom, thank you, thank you, thank you. Muchísimas gracias por su tiempo, por sus preguntas, por estar aquí conmigo. Yo tengo mucho orgullo que puedo hablar con ustedes y sus tiempos. Yo sé que eso es algo que es muy importante y es muy importante para mí también. Pero gracias, gracias, gracias. Y hasta el siguiente webinar que vamos a tener. Muchísimas gracias.